Hola, señoritas. Welcome to my wedding lessons. I am Hugo Alejandro, your Colombian wedding coach. And this, by the way, is Elvis, the best looking microphone in the world, in my opinion. And today we're going to be talking about the checklist to follow right after the first one that I showed you in a previous video. If you haven't watched it yet, I'm going to put a card up at the top because, yes, that was more of the macro theme of the planning, and now we're starting to get more specific. So we are going to have a series of videos made as we get more and more specific on checklists that you should follow in order to have a pretty smooth planning process. Now, 12 months plus is a suggestion. Most weddings are planned, give or take, at the 12-month mark. But if you decide to have a much shorter engagement, I don't blame you. We're going to make it happen one way or another. So with that, remember, we're here to relax, to dream, and to enjoy. So I want you to just take a moment to yourself. Let's forget about the world for a while. Find a quiet spot, a drink of your choice maybe, and then let's get started with my wedding lessons. All right, we're going straight to our journal checklist here, our entry. And today's entry again is the planning checklist number 2 for give or take the 12-month mark. So with that, we want to make sure that some of these steps, I want you to be selfish. It's funny to advise that, but the best thing, especially for the first point here, choosing your wedding party, you got to be selfish, okay? I want you to think about like who are the people that in my group of friends are just uplifting, like the people you go party with, to the lake, to the beach, to a trip, to, you know, like who are those really fun, uplifting people? And those are great candidates. We want your BFFs. We want people who are gonna bend over backwards to go get you a pair of shoes or something you forgot last minute. But yes, I want you to, again, be selfish. Don't feel pressured or don't give in to pressure to select people that are gonna bring you down the day of the wedding, because that's gonna be your inner circle and the people that are gonna really make the vibe for you. So I'm gonna tell you, pick your squad, not just a wedding party, but pick your squad, your core people that are just, they let you be yourself. The people who are just gonna bring the best in you. So think about that as you're selecting the group of people. And I do recommend a larger wedding party because those people stay until the end. And if partying is a big deal to you, then you definitely want to have a good size wedding party and make sure that that dance floor is pretty fun later on. Next up, we have creating a wedding website. Don't be afraid to just experiment a little bit with this. There are plenty of free services out there for you to create a wedding website, and think information. Don't focus so much on the wedding gallery. There will be a page for that in your website, but if someone is on the road the day of the wedding trying to grab directions quick because they forgot or something, just think about that. Like, directions and details are best, first up, and then later on as people scroll through, they can see a little bit more. And of course, RSVPing will be important, so think of that as well as you are making the design of your website. And then from there, let's talk about the rings, especially the wedding ring, the diamond ring. If you have a very nice token right there, you want to make sure that there's some insurance on it. And with that, I'm also going to tell you, especially having been born overseas, I'm from Colombia, don't take diamonds overseas. It's just not a good idea. Don't give people a chance or an objective like, hey, a diamond could be somebody's livelihood for a month or a year. So just depending on where you take your honeymoon, I definitely don't advise that you take your diamonds overseas. An alternative would be, find a cheap wedding band so that you can still take something in the honeymoon. But again, just word to the wise, be careful when you travel overseas. And then with that, let's talk about insurance. And I know I created this visual because we're talking about paperwork, and that's gonna be sometimes necessary here. But my goal here is not to bore you to tears. I don't want to make you yawn until you switch off to another video. My goal here is that you know that getting insurance is important. One of the things that I have seen the most when it comes to wedding occurrences is that people get caught with a liability last minute. Like, we recently had somebody trash a mirror in one of our bathrooms at the venue, and those are things that you're liable for. If somebody gets drunk enough to do damage, it's just not a fun thing for anybody after the fact. So some liability insurance, a couple $100 up front, but down the road you're dealing many times with a multi-million-dollar facility, and if something happens, you don't want to just believe or hope that you're not liable for it. And then cancellation and postponement. After 2020, all of us have to think about the possibilities. In 2019, I would have told you, no big deal. You'll get your money back if you cancel or postpone, because the numbers were very slow, very, very low. But after 2020, I gotta tell you, you have to get wedding insurance. And there are several options, and they're not expensive. But what you're doing is you're protecting yourself, as well as some of the local vendors that I'm gonna highly recommend to you that you shop local. But most of these people are gonna be family-owned businesses, so you're dealing with people that are not really in a position to give back deposits per se in the event of a shutdown or a pandemic. So anyways, I can tell you lots of stories in that regard, but if you take the time to research insurance before you get started booking, cancellation or postponement insurance is really not that expensive, and it also saves you a really ugly side of what we saw for the first time last year, which is, mediation, litigation, having to chase people down. Some people went out of business. I saw venues go out of business, and people did not get their money back. So again, protecting you and also saving you a very sour note. So this is not fun to talk about, but it's definitely necessary for me to tell you, you want to consider all of these types of insurance, and they're not that expensive. From there, the next part is a little bit more lighthearted, so we need that. And we want to explore save the date designs. When it comes to anything that you send out, anything that is going to be printed, you want to make sure and get physical samples of that thing. So invites, save the dates, and anything else that you may want to have, like place cards or party favors. Make sure you don't have a blind date with those things, because they might look completely different in person than in a screen. And with that, the next part is to also start looking at engagement photos. This is a great opportunity for you to interview and have a trial run with some of the photographers of your choice. Most people, of course, just book one session, but if your engagement session does not go well, just don't hope and think that the wedding is going to go well. So you definitely have a great chance to, again, have an interview with your engagement photos. And then if that goes well, then all right, we are heading the right direction when it comes to our photographer. And then, of course, I want you to make a big deal and announce it and tell the world, hey, we're engaged, and you want to have really beautiful photos that are also going to go on the website. So as you're designing your wedding website, those engagement photos are going to be pretty crucial to make sure that everybody can brag about you and how amazing you look together. And then with that, the last point that I'm going to give you for today is to start researching wedding shows. This goes hand in hand with researching vendors, but wedding shows are going to be a good source of discounts and just getting to know some of the vendors and venues that are out there around your geographical location. But there's also kind of a funny side to wedding shows that I'm very much interested in telling you about, and hopefully I can save you a little bit of pain and suffering, because not everybody at a wedding show is in your best interest. So when talking about wedding shows, I've created this kind of, I know I'm a dork, I will admit it, but I've created a shark warning.
Shark warning!
Again, I know I'm a dork, but I want to get the point across that not everybody at a wedding show is in your best interest. I'll give you a little sneak peek, but the bigger the company, the less in your best interest it is. Corporations, multi-state operations, where you're just a number, they're cheap, yes, but you get what you pay for. So I love the people that we have locally throwing the wedding shows, but not all the vendors at those wedding shows are my favorite people, and I'm very passionate about this because I've seen brides who have made crucial mistakes. Some that I got to DJ for and tried to fix on the tail end, and others that I went with other entertainment options that were cheaper, and later on in tears they tell me, hey, we should have gone with you. So anyways, there's gonna be a lot to talk about when it comes to vendors and venues and wedding shows. So that shark warning, you will see it again, and I'll keep you posted because that will be the next set of videos that we're gonna be posting as you get ready to get engaged, because we're approaching engagement season with Christmas and New Year's and later on Valentine's. But then, yes, I'm gonna definitely be hoping that I catch you early enough that as you go into wedding shows and booking vendors, that you come prepared, you know what to look for, and you book what is in your best interest. So again, I'm kind of promoting, typically I would tell people, hey, be humble, be loving, don't be so selfish. But when it comes to your wedding planning, we gotta make decisions that are gonna make you happy. What's important to you, that needs to be reflected in the choices of where the money's gonna go, the types of vendors and venues that we're gonna book, and we're gonna go from there. So anyways, keep an eye out for the wedding shows and vendor and venue selection videos that are coming up next. And with that, I want to thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget, give me a like, sub, and click the little bell so you know exactly when we post something new. And share this with somebody who might benefit or just like to, listen to acoustic music in the background. And anyways, I am Hugo Alejandro, your humble Colombian wedding consultant, and I will be bringing you some more videos very, very soon. And here's the tag. I don't always give wedding tips, but when I do it right here at My Wedding Lessons. Are you ready to party?